Digital signs. If you are in doubt about the power of digital signs to catch the attention of passersby, take a walk around Times Square in New York, or stroll down the Las Vegas Strip. Rotating messages with motion, sound, colors, and changing graphics. Digital signage is a living, breathing platform for communicating marketing messages. Digital signs are an important new channel for communicating with consumers or clients in stores, banks, institutional environments, and other locations where people gather. Recent research shows that digital signage is more interesting, unique, and entertaining than traditional media. Most importantly, digital signage can be in places where people actually make decisions about products, services, and commitments.
Traditional media, print, radio, and TV, surrounds us at every opportunity in life. No matter where you are, you're being hit by some kind of advertising component at work, at play, wherever you might be. So if you're in a retail location, people are there for a reason. They have an intent to buy or an intent to learn. So you need to understand who's in your store, or who's in your museum, or who's in your church, what their interests are, and present it to them so that they feel included in the message.
Digital signage is one of the most versatile forms of advertising media available to marketers. Digital signs can showcase products, play commercials, announce sales promotions, show videos, and air live feeds from cameras in remote locations.
A lot of times the customer needs to get educated as to how to run this system. It's like a small television station. You have to create your content, you have to develop your content, you have to create a message, and all of that needs to be scheduled and timed and needs to be able to go out to the screens when it needs to be there. There's a whole topology of how computers feed these flat screens or other types of displays.
Digital signs, to effectively execute digital signs, you need two things. You need software in some way, which is the ability to distribute the content. And then you obviously need the content. The content is the harder part. So if you're in the marketing world, you understand that to create a piece of content has a particular cost. And it can be very high, depending on how often you change things. So what Captive does is, particularly in our industry, which is primarily the financial institutions, banks and credit unions, we produce a lot of content that is specific to them. But we also produce content as in template format so they can go online, change text, change images at a very, very low cost. So it's about facilitating the content that goes on the software that then presents it on the screen.
We want to be the world's greatest service organization. That's a lot to say for a small community bank, but that is our goal, and that is what is inherent in everything we do here every day at Eclipse. It comes from the moment you walk through the door, to the first person you see, to the wall hangings, to the cookies on the table that are baked every day. It's a constant flow of marketing, whether it's subliminal or not. Every person in this building is a member of the marketing team. You start from the scratch, from your first hello to the CEO upstairs. Eclipse provides an atmosphere that gives all the banking expertise you need in an innovative product delivery and with the highest technology available. And we accomplish that through the digital signage program that changes continually throughout the day. We have the opportunity to change it at will and put in special offers, special events, and it's fresh. And that is our goal, is to have a fresh way to bank. That is in our logo, that is in our heart at Eclipse.
Retailers are using digital signage to transform bricks and mortar stores into dynamic, entertaining, and informative shopping experiences.
One particular customer of ours that uses our products in a convenience store setting, they're very focused on what's called affinity sales. Affinity sales is products that run parallel to another purchase. So if I am purchasing something off the hot dog roller grill, what they call a roller grill, maybe at a particular time of day, that purchase has an affinity with Diet Coke, and at a different time of day, it has an affinity with Mountain Dew. So these convenience stores and retail operations, they are very sophisticated in the knowledge that they have. So what we do is allow them to apply that knowledge in store to better facilitate the information that customers want and allow for the sale to take place and manage margin of different products that are being sold. We create content that Thornton's or whomever that it might be can control at the web level. So we'll do the design aspect, and then they can drop in product pricing and information about the product itself on the fly without any print, ship, or hang cost.
Nonprofits are catching on to the power of digital signs to raise awareness of their programs, locations, and events. They also use them to present content that describes their mission, objectives, and services, to post information about jobs and volunteer recruitment, and to air public service announcements.
So digital signage is more than just the ability to send content to a screen. It's really the ability to talk directly to an audience with laser-like accuracy. So I can define by demographic who is in a particular space, whether it's a convenience store, a museum, an airport, or wherever it might be, and customize the content on that screen to fit that demographic. So if you're speaking to people directly, it resonates with them.
Digital signage has kind of developed based on people getting used to seeing screens out in spaces and wanting to be able to get the information, because the worst thing in a digital signage scenario is that the information gets stale and stagnant, and people who walk by this screen multiple times, and if they see the same message 4 or 5 times in a row, 4 or 5 days in a row, they get in the habit of not looking at that screen. As far as the future of digital signage, I can envision that the displays and the messages will become much smarter and be able to get feedback from the environment they're in and be able to target information more directly.
Digital signage in the last few years, even through the recession, has grown at a compounded annual growth rate of approximately 45%, which is huge. Digital signage touches a myriad different professional tracks, if that's what you want to call them. Where do you want to be in your profession over time? So whether you're a programmer, you're writing our software, whether you're a content designer, somebody who pulls electrical wire, hangs a screen, a hardware manufacturer, somebody wants to design board components for PCs, all of that is applicable here. So if you have that talent, knowledge, and desire, then there's probably a spot for you in the digital signage world.